What's up, people? I feel great. Hopefully, you guys are feeling great. Your family is doing great. It's Sunday. You got your worship on. It's Super Bowl Sunday. A lot of things is happening. We had a jam-packed weekend. I hope everyone is where they want to be in life or striving to get there. I'm Jermaine McCrimmon. This is Humanity Unplugged podcast. And I just want to say thank you to everyone that has participated, downloading, subscribing on all media platforms. It's really been a pleasant surprise to see how God moved through people and how people think about you during the day on their way home. And we want to continue giving you guys this work on a lot of channels, especially my podcast, Apple and Spotify. I didn't know, but I do know now. I am correcting some things in certain episodes. It's a pause. I will fix it. I will give it out better. I don't know why it goes blank, but I did do some research on it. I believe I fixed it. So please leave any comments. Leave it and leave any thing to help, or if you know anything about it, just please submit it. Email, comments. Let me know what's what, and I would definitely try to address it. Hopefully everything is coming across now better as we move forward and we get stronger. When you know better, you do better. And I just want to say to everyone out here, things are changing around and we need to realize what's going on and how America is changing. And a lot of policies and orders and programs are being changed and dealt with in and out, from food stamps to DEI to shipping out immigrants, from your programs, from public assistance, food stamps, everything you can think about is starting to change. And we have to adjust. We need to realize what's going on and move like that. Um, A lot of times people worry about who's delivering the message. Hear the message. Don't worry about who's delivering the message. Hear what the person is saying, because the Bible says we lack because we don't seek enough knowledge. And a lot of time knowledge is right there in front of you that can help you out of your situation. But in return, since you don't like that person or don't rock with that person, you don't accept the knowledge. So we need to mature, be bigger, be stronger, be faster, think better, eat wiser, hang around positive energy so you can get that positive energy back and things will work out for you. I put out a few episodes, guys, on the podcast, and I really enjoy talking in general. I enjoy talking about different global news, things going on. And today's episode, the new bird flu. Yes, I said it. The new bird flu. And this is because as we have lived on the earth, everything progresses, everything changes. And even the viruses now are getting more complex. They're starting to change and move around and do different things. And one of the questions I asked is, can you imagine a world without birds, without cows, without cattle? Can you imagine waking up and never hearing a bird again? Ducks, all animals in general could be wiped out. Now, I'm not saying bird flu can do that. I'm just saying, what if something like that happened? As we see, if humans can be wiped out with the COVID, anything is possible. Our government has ceased to let us know when things are on the uprise. The CDC has a cease and desist order placed by Trump. He don't want to let us know what's going on with our world and diseases and viruses and things that are increasing in population in the hospitals. And it's a cease and desist. How will we know what's going on? And now with all the viruses out now, you're worse off going into the medical room. You're worse off going inside of a hospital because you catch something else. They all got cousins, the viruses, they all hang out together. They all give you similar symptoms. So what's what? You don't know. So as we go through this year, we just got to remain to stay solid on our principles and morals and try to keep, sanitizers, hand sanitizers, your alcohol, wear your mask. People love to go out. People will go out. America is about going out, exploring, do different things. So you're going to meet different people. You need to keep your hands and keep your distance sometimes. Try not to stay in so many crowded areas where germs and viruses just sit out and they relax. So as we go through this episode, I want you guys to understand that what if it goes down like this? What if this gets worse? What we gonna do? Is it best to be a vegan? Is it best to stop eating meat totally? No more eggs? No more chickens? Fine. Eggs are eggs and chickens are chickens. But what about all the private owners, the bakeries? These people are suffering because the lack of all the farms are suffering. People, how they sustain themselves in the world, they're suffering because of these things, these infractions that's going on. Then we got Trump going crazy. It's not adding to us, it's taken away from us. Then the crime rate is up. People are getting desperate to do things to survive. So in general, guys, we got to stay plugged in. And as I get it, I'm gonna give it out. Hopefully we can build this channel to be something really special. Join in. I'm gonna be having a lot of great content. I haven't even started the one-to-ones. I'm gonna be doing that soon. But as I see certain topics arise, I'm gonna talk about it and I want to share it with you guys. And I welcome all the comments. I welcome the haters, the people that don't like me. It's okay. You might have something that can help someone else by you sharing on this platform. It doesn't bother me at all. So please, we reaching out to India, Germany, America, the United Kingdom. It's a beautiful thing. Please, guys, share. More information we able to give out to each other, the better we all be. I don't watch too much American news. I get little clips here and there. I bring it together and see what I like out of it, what I think is actually real and what I think is fake. But sometimes news is put out there to distract you from what's really the truth that they don't want you to see. So as we go through these videos today, guys, just remember, this is what's happening. We got to stay on point. We got to know what to do in case of emergencies. So without further ado, let's get into the video.
With a worrisome outbreak of bird flu making headlines almost daily, Martha.
Capacitor course check is okay.
Martha Teichner tells us what it all means and what might come next.
There are 7 generations of Corwins in the Aquabog, Long Island town cemetery. Their graves overlook the farm that's been in the family since the 1640s.
Whose idea was it to put the ducks on the tombstone?
I'm going to say it's my grandfather's idea because he did it first.
It was Doug Corwin's great-grandfather who started raising ducks in 1908, when Long Island was famous for its duck farms. Now, Crescent Duck Farm is the only one left. It produced 1 million ducks a year until 2 weeks ago, when bird flu shut the farm down.
Dozens of state and federal agricultural workers dressed in biohazard suits, sanitized boots, and gloves are assisting in the euthanization of the entire flock here, 100,000 ducks.
I saw a flock one day that was great, and the next day was lethargic, wasn't eating. And it looked like something I'd never seen.
Whether it's ducks or chickens, since the current strain of bird flu, H5N9, reached the United States in 2022. Over 148 million birds have been euthanized.
It's a staggering number, there's no doubt, but it is and always has been a policy across administrations with the USDA that this is how they handle infections like this among poultry.
Jody Guest is a professor of epidemiology with Emory University's Rollins School of Public Health in Atlanta.
And as we've seen bird flu move species, it becomes even more important to try to contain that infection in the flocks that it's in so that we don't continue to see spread.
Except that's exactly what has happened.
It actually was in all 50 states by the end of 2023.
Transmitted by wild birds through their feces and saliva.
So in 2024, we saw bird flu jump from our poultry and wild birds to mammals, to cows. And that was a very startling change.
Until 2024, there was only one human case in the United States. In just a few months, the number jumped to 67 with one death. Most of those cases, workers at dairy operations and poultry farms. They experienced mild symptoms.
So far, we've not seen human-to-human transmission, and that would have to happen in order for us to be on the verge of an epidemic or a pandemic.
How scared are you of this?
I'm not scared. I feel very strongly that human risk is still very, very low.
How do we stop it?
We stop it by knowing where it is and then culling those herds and preventing its spread.
But the spread of H5N9 is not being contained. And look at what culling has already done to the price and availability of eggs.
According to the CBS News price tracker, a dozen eggs on average costs $4.15 today, compared to $2.51 just a year ago.
The issue has become politicized.
The Biden administration and the Department of Agriculture directed the mass killing of more than 100 million chickens, which has led to a lack of chicken supply in this country, therefore a lack of egg supply, which is leading to the shortage.
White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt last week. In fact, the first Trump administration followed the same policy.
I think a vaccine program's the only thing that's going to get us out of this.
The proposal is controversial. Allow poultry farmers to vaccinate their birds against H5N9, something theoretically doable, but currently forbidden, because it would cripple U.S. poultry exports to the many countries which ban vaccinated birds.
The disease is becoming much bigger than the export situation because the disease is so getting out of hand right now.
This is as far as we can go because of the quarantine.
Because of the quarantine, that's correct.
So people, so far we're hearing that they have a vaccine for it, but the vaccine stops the money because we export chickens all over. We supply so much people with food and chickens and stuff that they don't allow vaccinated chickens to be sold in their countries. So we suffer over here because America want to make money under the table. Huh? This is what they saying, you know? I know you guys heard it. I heard it just as clear as day. Let's continue.
Doug Corwin can't decide which is worse, losing 100,000 ducks or having to lay off 48 people. You seem ambivalent about whether or not you even want to try again.
Martha, think about what I've been through over the last 2 weeks. It's devastating. Utterly devastating. It reminds me of losing both of my parents. You know, that sudden, that grief, is that feeling that you've lost something that's part of you.
That was our first video, guys. And as you can see, it's not easy for the American people on what's going on. It just ain't. You know, and it might get worse because America is not gonna stop selling their chickens, right? We're not gonna stop selling chicken to across the country. Why would we do that, right? Why would America stop making money because of the American people suffering in their pockets and on the tables to provide for their families? It doesn't affect people that has the money. They just buy their eggs, keep it moving. But what about all the other families that can't afford that? $13 for 18 eggs. $9 for a dozen of eggs. And if you listen to this real carefully, it affected cows now. Milk might go up. Look how many things are made out of eggs and milk. There's a lot of items produced out of eggs and milk. I'm just saying. Here go our next video.
This morning, as cases of bird flu continue to pop up across the country, and it is putting a strain on farmers who have been forced to slaughter millions of chickens.
I'm sorry, guys. Part of the video.
Chicken so far. The egg shortage causing sky-high prices at the grocery stores. And here locally in Montgomery County, Maryland, a backyard chicken flock was recently impacted by the bird flu. Experts are urging the public to take precautions to reduce the risk of infection. And joining me this morning is the Maryland Secretary of Agriculture, Kevin Addix. Good morning to you. Thanks so much for being with us.
Good morning. Thanks for the invite.
Can you tell us a little bit about some of the latest cases that you've seen in Maryland? We know, of course, we don't want to cause any panic, but it's really important for people to be informed about what's happening here.
Yes. Well, I'll start just by saying that bird flu is an infectious, fairly easy spreadable disease in birds. And we know that it's endemic in the wild bird population. So as we have wild geese, snowbirds on the eastern shore, snow geese on the eastern shore, flying over, migrating, and sometimes landing in and around our commercial poultry industry, that's where we're seeing a lot of the current outbreaks. And it's really being transmitted. We're thinking, and we're testing right now, but we're thinking it's coming from the droppings of the birds, and that's getting into either the backyard flock, like we saw in Montgomery County, or into the commercial flock. And really, at that point, it's about managing it, maintaining it on that premises, containing it, and just encouraging everyone involved, from growers to hunters who are out engaging with birds, just to practice good biosecurity.
Yeah, and you talk about managing that, right? So what are some steps that the Maryland Department of Agriculture is taking right now to try to manage these outbreaks? And is there anything you can do to prevent them?
Well, prevention is key, right? So ensuring that we're getting messaging out to commercial industry and also backyard flock owners. And this, I'll plug right now that if you have chickens, you're required to register them with the Department of Agriculture in Maryland. And the reason for that is so that we can get you messaging and make sure that you know how to deal with incidents if you see them, but also how you can protect your flock. The last thing we want is for your flock to get sick, because right about now you're relying on those eggs, and we want you to have that. It's a great experience. So the best measure of prevention is prevention, keeping that disease from getting into the flocks, which means changing your shoes before and after you're going in and out of areas where your birds are located. Just keeping an eye on your birds, and if they look sick, making sure that you're reporting them to us so that we can give you advice on what to do, because we want to contain the spread.
Yeah, that's so important. I know, many of these cases, they have been detected through pre-market testing, which we know is normal for commercial farms. But you touched on this just a little bit. What is the plan for some of those smaller backyard flocks?
Well, I'll tell you, for a backyard flock, if a bird looks ill, then let us know, and we try to contain it. We are eternally excited, sometimes surprised by how many homeowners, individuals, have backyard flocks of birds. It's a great experience. We want people to do it, and it's a great source of eggs. Be able to walk out back and get your breakfast. That's fantastic, phenomenal. But we also want to make sure that everyone who's engaged is careful, because this is a virus that's out there and around, and we've seen it increased over the years just because migratory patterns of birds have changed. There's more movement. There's more birds flying over our area, and especially the Delmarva, where we're seeing a lot of these outbreaks. There are currently 8 outbreaks on our eastern shore from Delaware to Virginia. And, it's all about managing, maintaining, containing, and just making sure that, as I said, good biosecurity. Just be smart.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a few seconds left, but I want to ask you, where can people go for more resources on this?
If they go to our website, mda.maryland.gov, you can see all resources about growing. If you go to dnr.maryland.gov, if you're a hunter, that's a great place to see. If you're a hiker hunter and you see a sick wild bird, you can get information there about what to do.
All right, great information this morning. Maryland Secretary of Agriculture Kevin Addix, thanks so much for being with us.
Well, guys, according to him, in Maryland agriculture, it's something common. It's nothing that's to worry about too much. All you got to do is just, let them know, call them up, tell them that you got a pink eye bird, and we'll send some people out there in the morning. Don't worry about it. But 148 million birds have been perished, as they would say, heads off, just knocked off since 2023. And it's out of control. We know that because now it's affecting us. Ain't no eggs. We can't have that omelet. You know what I'm saying? We can't have that little cheese on that egg. You can't have that fried egg no more, that boiled egg. Some people use eggs for cakes. There ain't no more cakes. The bakery's shutting down. It's affecting those who use it as a source to provide for their family. And it's sad. It's sad. So as we go forward, we got to understand what we need to do. Either you need to get off that protein, get you something else, because in all reality, we don't know how long this might last. So we got to be aware of that. We got to be aware. So here go our next video. Hopefully you guys enjoy it.
Strain of bird flu, which killed a man in Louisiana earlier this year, has now been detected in dairy cows in Nevada. The detection.
Why aren't you the landlord? What's held you back from
I'm sorry, guys.
owning rental
Part of the
property?
video.
Is it because you
Part of a national milk testing program indicates the strain previously linked to migrating birds and poultry has spilled over into cattle.
Dr. Anne Ramoyne is a professor of epidemiology at the UCLA Fielding School of Public Health, and she joins us now with more. Hi, Doctor. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us tonight. Well, the CDC notes that the risk to the general public remains low, but what does the detection of this new strain of bird flu in cattle tell you about the evolution of the virus?
Well, thanks for having me. And yeah, this is really important news here. This is not the same variant that we've seen in cattle previously. This is a variant that we normally have seen in poultry, and that variant has been associated with more severe disease, the case in the Louisiana man who died and the teenager in British Columbia as well.
You see this, people? We have a new variant of the new bird flu. It's a new variant attacking cattle now. One human has died. Now, they said it's nothing to worry about until a human, the very first video, nothing to worry about till, a human dies. Well, hello. Hi. There's one out. He gone already. They dying now. People are starting to die slowly. That's how it picks up. Real slow. Let's continue.
Well, and the big news here is that this really suggests that it wasn't just a single transmission from birds to cows, that there are probably multiple of these transmissions. And it just reminds us that there are a lot of strains potentially circulating, and cases are adding up. So with this potentially more virulent strain circulating now in cows, we really do need to pay attention.
All of this happening in the thick of flu season, schools across the country closing as influenza spikes. What can viewers do to stay healthy?
Well, you're absolutely right. We're seeing really high levels of flu activity across the country. And what's happening in one part of the country will obviously affect us here as well. So get your flu shot. It's not too late. And that flu vaccine does reduce severe illness and hospitalization. So good idea to do it now if you haven't done it yet. Wash your hands frequently. Flu is transmitted also by touch.
So now they want you to, go rush and go get a flu shot that got cow mucus in it and a whole bunch of other stuff, and you'll be safe from the flu. But we're not going to tell you what the mucus from the cow and all this other stuff they put in to do to your body. But at least you won't get the flu. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about the flu. Yeah, you got a vaccination, so you're going to be good. You know, just walk around, you'll be fine. And then all of a sudden, a big bump pops up the back of your ear, back of your neck, or you start walking and you grow an extra toe. And we don't know where it come from, but hey, I had this vaccine put in me from the flu, and I don't know what was in it. Oh yeah, it's all chemical made. It's safe for you. Yeah, okay. Either that gets you, or you just get infected by the bird flu. Yeah, the new one.
So get it on your hands from surfaces, and you rub your nose, rub your eyes. You're going to potentially get it. So wash those hands frequently. Stay home if you're sick. Wear a mask in crowded areas. If you really want to drill down on preventing disease, it does help reduce exposure to viral pathogens, respiratory pathogens, especially if you're traveling. And with flu, there are antivirals that work to really make a difference. So you can take Zofluza or Tamiflu. Talk to your provider if you do think you have flu.
There is a solution for sure. That you mentioned travel, so we have been following this story pretty closely as well. Globally, the CDC issued a level 2 travel alert about an Ebola outbreak in Uganda. So what do we know about this outbreak, and is there any reason for concern here at home?
So Uganda is dealing with another Ebola outbreak, and it's caused by the Sudan virus strain, which is different than the more well-known Zaire strain.
Hold up, people. Did y'all hear that? Now we got to think about Ebola again. Yo, and I'm sorry for laughing, but we can't catch a break. I mean, they just keep rolling them out. I mean, this is ridiculous. Oh my God. We can send people to the moon, huh? Have all these satellites, huh? We can have EV cars, and we can have heat-seeking missiles, but we can't stop a plane and a helicopter from crashing, huh? They did bump right into each other. We can't stop the Ebola. We can't stop flu. We can't stop bird. What the word? Bird. We can't stop none of these viruses that's on the uproar in the United States, but we want to take the Mexicans and put them in, ship them out, put them on these big jumbo planes, and then send them all over the country back to the people. But we got an uproar in the United States. We cutting out all programs. This is crazy. Woo! Oh God, I'm getting hot. We gotta let this play.
Which has happened more frequently where I work in the Democratic Republic of Congo. So there are confirmed cases in Uganda, but there are investigations occurring right now, and Uganda has dealt with these outbreaks previously. So they do know what they're looking for. There is a vaccine trial starting there locally for a new vaccine targeting this strain. But for the US, risk is very low. Ebola doesn't spread like flu, so it requires direct contact. So, you know, I think that for those of us here at home, risk is low, but this once again reminds us that, you know, we need to be paying attention to what's happening globally.
Covered several of the bases. Dr. Ann Ramoyne, short on time. Thanks for being with us. Always good to have you. Be well.
People, you know, Ebola, the chickens, everything's going on, right? Cool. We're going to end up having to put the chickens and the cows in Matambo Bay. Forget putting Mexicans there. Put all our livestock in Matambo Bay. Well, you know, let them be locked up away from everybody, and maybe we can save something, because this doesn't make any sense. You heard what she said? Oh, you need to pay attention to the global news. Don't worry about what's going on in your around the corner at Brumman store, at Ox store, where you're getting that Philly chopped cheese. Oh, don't worry about that chopped cheese. Just worry about it when he put eggs on the beef bacon. That's when you worry, because you know eggs, bird, all that work together. So don't worry about nothing else. You know what I'm saying? When you go get that plate from the Penil from Boricua Central, that $5 plate with the black beans, don't worry about that. But when you go to work and you touching doorknobs and you in people's faces, hey, be careful there. Like, how you supposed to function? Huh? You getting the dollar cabs in Brooklyn, the dollar vans. I'm sorry, them dollar vans. You sitting in that van with 15 people breathing, shoulder to shoulder. Yeah, you only going 2 lights, 3 lights. It's kind of long out there. The blocks is long. That's all it takes. You infected. Your kids go to school. Schools are overcrowded. Then the class is 43 kids in 2nd grade. How the teacher teaching the 43 students? Somebody gonna get left back. That's just too much. She got 2 eyes, 43 kids to look at. Huh? How's this working? Food, preparing food all over. How are we doing this? I pray for everyone to be safe. As I close, again, this is Super Bowl weekend. Everybody, I think, is in New Orleans. A lot of things happen in New Orleans. When you come there to have a good time, the scammers come there to scam. So please be careful. People, stay safe. Stay blessed. Until next time, I'm Jermaine McCrimmon from Humanity Unplugged Podcast. You guys have a great day. This will be out on Tuesday on YouTube and the other social media platforms, but the podcast will probably get this Monday, most likely Monday night or Monday morning. This will air. Take care, guys. God bless.